So Kyle, we were just playing this really fun indie game that just came out called Chariot, and you and I both saw this at conventions. You saw it at PAX Prime.
Yeah.
I saw it for the first time at GDC
Cool.
a little earlier in the year, and I'm really having a fun time with it.
I like Chariot a lot.
I think it's rare that you get to play a co-op game that's a couch co-op that truly is cooperative. Like, that's what we were talking about, how you actually do have to work together. You're not just playing on the same screen.
Constantly. You are working together constantly in this game, which I really like. Always communicating. Like, there's not like a, I'll go in this room and you go in this room kind of thing. It's like we're always cooperating in this game.
Yeah, well, because you will die if you don't stick together. I mean, I played the first level, the first set of levels, I should say, the first world or whatever, completely solo. And you can do the game solo. It's challenging in its own way, but I almost think it's more challenging to play with another person because you have to do management of where both players are at the same time.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I would fall off the map, where it's just like, you forget to accommodate for everyone, and just like, you make assumptions about the other person like holding on to it, or assumptions of the other person letting go of the chariot, and it requires constant, just like, I got this, you got that, I'm good. It takes a lot of communication, which is cool.
Yeah, maybe we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. So the game is from Freema Games. It is a puzzle platformer, 2D side-scrolling, and the story is that the king of the kingdom has died, and his monument, his sepulcher, that presumably they're his children, right?
No,
the kids.
It's a fiancé.
Subjects?
The girl is his child, but
Right.
the guy's the fiancé of the girl.
Oh, okay. So what they have to do is they're tasked with finding a better sepulcher that does the king justice. And when I first saw the game, I didn't realize that the king was going to be talking to you the whole time. Like, the spirit of the king is coming through, because the reason why it's called Chariot is because we're dragging him around in this chariot everywhere we go in a very fashion. Just you cannot leave him behind, otherwise you'll fail the level.
Yeah. And I like that a lot in a sense that if it was just like an expensive box, you would think, oh, those two characters would just leave it. You know what I mean? And so the box being the king makes sense for this entire game being about dragging a box around and finding new ways. And the physics are cool. I mean, it feels like dragging a box around with two grappling hooks, basically.
It was interesting coming across certain mechanics in the game for the first time. For example, the ghost and the life trails, and having to work around those. Whether it be the ghost trail where only the chariot can stand on it, or the life trails where only the players can. And then we just found these bouncy things, like these trampolines,
like spring pads, And when they add a lot because it's all real physics. You know what I mean? It adds a lot to just like the chances of us it's not like anything that's already figured out for us. We have to just we were like stuck in the jumping pads for I feel like 5 or 10 minutes.
It did take a while. It adds that kind of random element where it's not just a typical puzzle, it's a typical puzzle plus luck and skill all kind of working together, which I think makes it a really enjoyable experience. And we haven't progressed too far into the game. I'd say maybe like 15% of the way into the game, which to me indicates that there's going to be quite a few levels, and they're getting increasingly more difficult and more lengthy as we go on, which is really kind of exciting because I feel like there's such a value proposition there for such a, what a lot of people would consider a small game.
And we spent 40 minutes on that
one level.
On that one level, which is cool. I mean, it's a cave. It's just a huge cave that we were stuck inside of. And we weren't really stuck in any one spot for long. It was really just us plowing through and discovering how
it kind
deep
of has
this
that
goes.
like spelunky feel to it, where you're doing all of this exploration, and there are certain paths where it guides you, but then as we've discovered, if you go against the guided path is where you usually find the best treasure.
Never follow the arrows,
I mean, even if when you look on the maps, like some of these maps are really, really diverse and really big, which is why it's awesome that you can go back in, because sometimes you just get frustrated and you're like, I just want to get out of this cave. But it allows you to go back in exploration mode and really kind of explore every nook and cranny and try to find as many gems as possible.
Yeah, if your buddy wants that.
Yeah,
because that's the other thing is like you might always get part with a person who's always just like, no, come on, let's go, let's charge forward.
But that's no fun, charging through.
I feel like that's all my friends are just the charge forward people.
But you're the guy who likes to go and find all of the loot.
Absolutely, yeah. The outside of a maze, just always hanging left, trying to get like the entire map filled up. Yeah.
Well, and there's also some upgrades for the chariot and items that are worked in as well, kind of providing a little bit of like a progression system.
Right, you can change its wheels. And yeah, special items. We didn't get that deep. One of them is like a bomb. You can get like a time bomb that you can use against the horrible bats.
Oh, the bats. Oh, they're the worst. So
They'll come and attack your king.
Yeah, there's not very many enemies or at all really in while you're going through the levels. I mean, because the puzzles are challenging, but and then you're managing 2 people and a hanging chariot, and all these bats are swarming you and stealing all the gems that you worked so hard to get. It's aggravating.
I think there's a cool one. There's a cool one that like slows down time, which we could have used so many times.
Oh well, we have to unlock them. We need to play more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you want to go play some more?
Yeah. We should mention that that's free on Games with Gold this month.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
All month, for the whole month of October.
Yep.
But it's also on
PS4, Wii U, PC, Xbox One.
So if you don't have an Xbox, you can still play this game. And highly, highly recommend it. We had fun.
Yeah.
I was told there would be a bright light. Where's my bright light?